Welcome to episode 190 of Studio Biz and all that jazz. Can you believe 190 episodes, right? Now, my next guest is actually someone who was on the show a few months ago now. Her name is Deb Szabo. She is a digital marketing strategist and video marketing coach. She's also the creator of Content Catalyst. Now, the reason I've invited her back is not just because she's super awesome, but also because she is one of our expert guest speakers at Studio Biz Summit 2025. Now, I promised you that I would run a series of episodes interviewing all of our wonderful speakers that are going to be at the event. And so I am delivering on that promise, and we're kicking off with Deb. The topic that she's going to be bringing to the summit and talk about in this episode is AI and video for dance studio owners, unlocking time, money, and freedom with your phone. Now, this is a really, really critical point in your marketing, and now is the time to tap into these tools, but also find the strategies that make it easy to use and just a part of the flow of your business, right? We're going to talk about how to do that. We're going to touch on that in this very episode. Now, the best part is that Deb so graciously has a very special offer for anyone that is going to be purchasing a ticket to the summit. And I'm going to share that with you in just a minute. Let's kick into the show. Hello and welcome to Studio Biz and all that jazz. I'm your performing arts business coach and host, Josephine Lancuba. This show is designed to bring you inspiration, information, and the instruments you need to create and grow the studio biz of your dreams. I will bring you a mix of solo episodes as well as interviews where I tap into the minds of industry experts. My career started as a performer over 2 decades ago. I later became a speaker, theatrical producer, and talent manager, as well as having a successful teaching career in singing, drama, and dance. 10 years into my professional journey, I became a mama of 2, and with a baby on my hip, opened up my very own performing arts studio. From hardship and humble beginnings to 4 studio locations and a multi-6-figure performing arts biz, I know how to attract students and keep them coming back for more. And in the show, I will share with you my experiences to help you thrive and fast-track your path to success. I know you have a spark inside of you with dreams and goals for the future. As your coach and mentor, I'm here to help you step into your limelight and be a cheerleader in your ear each and every week. So get ready to be entertained and inspired as we talk studio biz and all that jazz. Now, as promised, my beautiful listeners, we have a very special offer for you that Deb Szabo has generously offered. And that is when you purchase a ticket to Studio Biz Summit and you use coupon code podcast, we're going to send you an email with free access to Deb's video challenge, Launch a Video Podcast, priced normally at $297, now yours free. We'll also talk about why having a video podcast is an exciting concept and idea for your marketing strategy in 2025 towards the end of this episode, so make sure you stick around. So when you go to purchase your ticket for Studio Biz Summit, head to josephinelancuba.com/summit, use coupon code podcast, and then you'll get an email to get $297 off for the video challenge with Deb Szabo that will absolutely be free. What an amazing deal. All right, stick around. Let's start our conversation with the wonderful Deb Szabo. I am so excited to introduce everyone to the wonderful Deb Szabo. Thank you for being on the show today.
Hey, how are you, Jo?
I'm so good, and I've talked about to our audience a few times that I'm in an accountability group with a group of wonderful women, and Deb is actually one of those wonderful women. So I'm really happy that you've come onto the show. I can't recall, I think you were on here quite some time ago when I was running show mode. So it's good to have you back.
Thank you for having me back. It's great to be here. And yes, it is a joy to be in an accountability group that has a common focus of sustaining our business and growing our business together, because at the end of the day, we can't do that alone. We need support. And that's why I love so much of what you do, because The creative arts, as it would be, is can be a lonely business. Any person that's in creative business can be a lonely journey, because we're very focused on what we're doing, and business doesn't necessarily come naturally to us. So it's important to have that support.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for everyone listening, I'd love you to tell them what you do. Who is Deb Szabo? What does Deb Szabo do?
It's a great question. Look, essentially at the core, I'm a marketing strategist, and I've been doing that for over 3 decades. But I fell in love with the power of video a few years ago, because the business that I was working with at the time, we needed to be visible, and we found that the best way to get visible was using our phones, like literally our phones, and using it to go live and creating live segments and building a connection with our members and our audience using video. And it literally was the turning point for the business to progress and start making money. So that is why I became I guess obsessed of learning everything I could to make better video. And then I started to help other people to make video. And that is something that I then started a business on, which is Content Catalyst. And that's my group coaching now. And then AI came about, and I went down another big rabbit hole of learning how AI can help with our content creation, because it is just such a powerful tool. Things that we used to take days to do now takes hours with a click of a button, minutes. So this is where now, for me, I am still a marketing strategist at heart, but I help people, I coach people with video and AI now, because I feel like they're not just separate tools, they're part of your marketing toolbox to help you get visible online.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you tapped into that very point, that creatives can feel like they're very much alone in it. It's a passion-based business. And sometimes when we think of these tools like AI or video, we think about, oh my gosh, that can feel really overwhelming. But that's what I love about what you share. And I obviously, follow your content. I've done some of your programs and whatnot. I love that you share how it can actually be easy. So this is, as mentioned in the intro, everyone, Deb is going to be at Studio Biz Summit this April. Yes. And you are bringing the topic, AI and video for dance studio owners, unlocking time, money, and freedom with your phone. Now, you actually started in an entertainment space as well, didn't you? Did you work with radio? Isn't that right?
Yeah. So I started my career in radio. And so that was based on, there was 2 parts with that. It's like, one, radio was informational and entertainment. So that became the foundation of my training, as far as helping other businesses promote themselves leveraging radio, and obviously advertising on radio. And I learned so much. That was when I was, young 20-year-old. Yeah. But I can tell you that the training that I learned back then has never left me. Like, that is the fundamental foundation of what I do now, is just help people, but in a different medium.
It's interesting that, because radio is such a different medium to video, isn't it? And I suppose that's, on its way out. But what about video do you think you'd say it's a powerful tool, but why? Like, what makes video so powerful?
So the number one thing that's powerful, and that's why you're doing the summit, is because when we can get together in a room, our knowledge goes up, our learning goes up, the absorption of information goes up. We also get a better understanding of who the person is, and we can instantly get to know somebody and feel like we've known them for years. Okay. And I just recorded my own podcast about this very thing. So standing in front of somebody, having conversation, is the most powerful thing you can do to connect with another human being and get across your message of what you do. The second best thing is video, because we're using all the senses. So we're using the visual side of things, we're using the auditory things, and we're also we can invoke a lot of emotion through video, through how we present, how we speak, the music, all the props that come along with it. Now, if I flash back to radio, that was so there was like at that time, there were like the three tiers of advertising traditionally, right? So you had the newspaper, then you had radio, and then you had TV. So anyone with a budget was like the bee's knees was TV. And like if you didn't have the budget, then you do radio. If you had a big budget, then you do like, radio and TV and print. Like that was how it is. But now we can use the power of video to hit all of those sensory elements. That's how we learn as humans. So we're 65% of us are visual learners. So when you can show up online and tell somebody and show, you can not just tell someone, you can show someone. That's the power of video. But it's not just humans, machines love it as well. So the algorithms, search engines love video because of the information that you can provide in it can be scraped really easily. So if you think about a YouTube video, you think about this episode, if we were talking about dance studios and video and AI, we have a higher chance of coming up in a search engine if somebody was asking those questions, because it can scrape the video, it can scrape the information of the description, the title, the thumbnail. And so it provides so much more information to search engines when people are looking up a dance studio in their local area and you're using video, you have a higher chance of coming up over your competitor.
Yeah, and I love that. And it's such an amazing journey that we've gone on to get to this point, because like you said, people used to invest in television. That was the bee's knees. And that was an expensive investment. Now it's basically free. Like you've got your phone.
Yes.
And away you go.
Our phone is the most powerful thing in our pocket.
Let's talk about the ease of that and how this marketing tool is so now cost effective, because you don't really need it. I mean, of course, you can employ people, you can get people to film, you can do all the things, but you don't have to get started. So let's talk about how do we get started?
Yeah. So if you're a dance studio, you want to actually target the people in your local area. So from a geographic point of view, we can leverage social media to actually help us with targeting our local area. So the beautiful thing is you can, through social media, through your content, you can target anyone in the world anytime you like. But if we're just talking about our local catchment, we can do certain what we call SEO, search engine optimization, in our content to help the algorithm show it to our local area. So how do we get started? We pick up our phone. And first of all, I always start with strategy. Because a lot of people can make content and it's not going to resonate with their audience if they're not creating strategic content. So what we want to do for a dance studio, we want to be thinking about what does our audience want? What is going to help? So we've got educational and we have entertainment side of things. Just like a radio station, right? So what's the entertainment side of things? We want to show the life of what we do in our studio. We want to show the stories of our students. We want to show their progress. Like we want to show what you actually do, because then you inspire. So that's the number one thing. And to pick up your phone, it literally is, you've got a tripod in the screen behind you there, Joe. And you literally just go to Kmart, buy one of those $25 tripods, put your phone on it, press record, and just capture content of your classes. That's the easiest thing you can do.
I love you mentioned the tripod, because actually we were in a group coaching call in my membership, Studio Biz Success, and inside there we were talking about video marketing, etc., and how to capture that sort of organic content in class. And one of the studio owners within the group said, yeah, I just find that can be a real distraction to the class. I said, I'm going to challenge you on that, because it doesn't have to be. All you need is a tripod in the corner of the room and just hit record. You don't even have to stop the lesson, right? So this is the thing. People think you have to. Yes, of course, you can stage content and go stand here, let's do this, but you don't have to. So what's that difference between A roll versus B roll and all these different levels of content that you can grab?
So I just was talking about this in my recent podcast I just recorded before this. The thing is, we want a content library. So we want to build up content that we can have in reserves, whether it's B-roll video, and B-roll is literally people, places, and product of you showing what you do. So that is the simplest way to describe it. So you will have a library of that, like a folder of that you can call on at any time to help tell your story when you don't want to turn up on camera today, or when you actually want to emphasize the story that you're telling with your current content. That's number one. And then we've got talking head video, which helps us explain that. Now, you can still have evergreen content that you have in a content library. And I encourage people to do that. Do a shoot day where you just have your, your content planned so you can have it in your library. And here's the thing, like I work with a business and we work on campaigns, and every couple of months those campaigns will change. The last 2 campaigns, I was able to repurpose 80% of that content for the campaign. And all I need to do is just get 20% to say, hey, here's the current offer. Mm-hmm. So that's where having a content library helps. And to do that, that's when we document what we do. So we document, and it could just be you filming a dance class, you actually, showing you, what you do as well. Like, it doesn't have to be on the students. It can actually just be filming you as well. Get really comfortable with just taking video. I know whenever I'm in a crowd in an event, the first thing everyone does is like get their camera out and take a selfie, or get a photo. I'm going to encourage everyone instead to take video.
Yeah.
That's number one. And take vertical video. That's all you need when you're creating social content. Just create some nice vertical video. So that's number one. Number two, the other challenge that most people say to me is, I don't have time. Mm-hmm. Which basically means that I don't know actually how to make it efficiently. And the reason why is that if you can just get into the habit of documenting those things, you will have content. But then there's other easy ways on how you can build connection with your audience using video. And that is just by going live. Like, going live is the best way to go. I'm just going to have a chat with my audience about what we're doing today, about what we're preparing for, how you're feeling, what are you thinking, and take people on a story. So when you tell stories, people invest emotionally in it, and lives are the best thing for that because it's raw, it's authentic, and you don't have to edit.
No, you just post it to your page.
You just post it.
Live's done. And don't overthink it. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I actually had someone purchase a ticket to the summit from a live that I did, and I was just having a conversation about it, and someone was so engaged. They asked a lot of questions, and they went to purchase. Now, you can be doing the same thing about your program. It can be about your day. It can be about anything, and you can tie that into what you do. So I love the live element because it is easy. And again, people think it's really hard to show up, but I think we need to remove that idea that we are showing up for a television commercial campaign. This is not what this is, right? This is social media. People actually want to see natural, organic, real people having real conversations. Yeah. I think that's really important. Now, you are bringing to the summit not just the topic of video, the topic of AI. Again, you're talking about unlocking time, money, freedom. Let's talk about AI.
Yes.
And and also what you're hearing today in this episode, everybody, is not even scratching the surface of what Deb is going to bring to the summit. So I can't wait for that. And again, if anyone wants to come along, that link is in the show notes. But let's talk about AI in a way that is practical, tangible. Like, how can we do this in a studio environment, and why do we even need to?
Yeah. So the thing about AI, I speak to many businesses, and you think, maybe older people are like scared of AI, but there's actually a lot of younger people that are scared of AI, and they're scared of it because they don't quite understand it, or their perception of it is actually that it's just ChatGPT. They've gone in and typed in a question and it's given them an average answer. And but what AI is, it's such a powerful tool to help us with so much. Like, when I say it saves me hours of time, I can't even begin. But so if we talk about content creation, it helps with me planning. So Jo, I have got this amazing AI assistant that I want to share with you to actually be able to plan out a whole month's worth of content across all your content marketing. So content isn't just a social media post on Instagram.
Will you be
Content is
bringing that
what,
to the summit, that assistance?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I am.
So hear that, everyone?
And it's going to be
listen to
tailored
that.
for for the art studio, like Biz, Studio Biz.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is with this is that content isn't an Instagram post. Your content is what you put on your website. Content is what you share out with your blogs for SEO. Content is what you post on the different platforms where your audience hangs out. Okay, so what we want to do is make it really easy to come up with ideas that are tailored for our business and our geographic area. Okay, and our students, because every dance studio has their own vibe, right? They've got their own little, style of what they teach and classes and things like that, the nuances. So we want to program our assistant. So when we come into the month, we go, this is my focus. We're getting ready for school holidays program, right? I want a month's worth of content so I know how to show up easily every day. And so all I have to do is put in the month, put in the focus, school holidays program, and any offers that I'm doing. So join now and you can get blah, blah, blah. Click. Bam.
Have a good click. Bang.
Bam.
Bada bing.
Bada
Bada
bing.
boom.
So it's going to give me story ideas, what I need to turn up on Instagram stories. And all you have to do is read it and press it and go blah, 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 blah. It's going to give me a live idea, what I need to talk about. It's going to give me a blog idea of what I need to talk about. It's going to give me all the video content that I need and the written content with a click of a button. And then you're going, oh my God, now I've got to implement it. But here's the beautiful thing.
To say, okay,
right? So this is the thing. It's one thing to have the ideas, but then you've got to execute it, right? But then when you learn the systems of then how to make it part of your everyday workflow, right? So I always think about when you go into a dance studio, what's the first thing you do when you open, go in the morning and open the door? What's the first thing you do, Jo?
As the owner
of a dance studio. Yeah. What's the first thing you do?
Geez, that's a hard question. I put my things down. I go to the desk. I say hi to the people. I don't know. Yeah.
You turn on the lights.
Oh, yeah. I turn on the lights.
You turn on the lights. You open the doors so the students can come in. These are automatic things that you do every day without thinking about it. Okay. So that's how we want you to think about content creation, that it's just part of every day that you do. And everyone in your business is a content creator. It's not just the marketing department these days. And the marketing department is, as a studio owner, is you, right? It's like there's, you might have the junior assistant here and there or the bookkeeper, but essentially it's you, right? So, but everyone, the teachers, the students
need to get on board.
The students and the teachers are the content creators. So we want to distribute that. So we have a system to be able to lighten the load. So when you show up, you're not having to do all the things. So that's what we do is we go, how do I make it part of like brushing my teeth, opening up, turning the lights on the studio? It's called habit stacking. Okay. Right. So we've got to think about how can we habit stack and get into. So I have that tripod on my desk here. As soon as I get in the morning, I put it on there and it's my signal to do a story or do a live and talk. It's because when we say we don't have time, it's we haven't made time, and it only takes 1 minute when you get into the habit of it. I actually do a lot of my content when I'm out on a walk in the morning, right? Because I'm like, I've got a lot of things. So it's how can you incorporate it into every day? So coming back to AI, then we come down to editing, right? So I use CapCut. CapCut is free. You can use it on your computer, which is so much quicker than your phone. And then you've got templates. These are all AI generated programs. What used to take me so long to edit, like I'm talking 3 years ago, it used to take so long to edit things, I can do with clicks of a button now. Click, click, click. I can take one video and I can chop it up into 20 pieces of like videos. Then I can take a scheduler. All these programs now are all AI driven. There's all an element of AI. So how do we use it on our phone? I use Perplexity AI. So it enables us to put some information in, gives me all the things. It's my best. If you're a solo operator or you've got a very small team as a dance studio, I spend $20 a month on Perplexity AI for the pro version because I use it that much. I promise you it'll be the best $20 you'll ever spend on any of your team members because of what it can do. So, for example, I went into my friend's business the other day. I helped her out for an hour. And I said, would you like me to set this up? Because she goes, oh, no one's going to come in. I went, yeah, they will. And I went in, I found her $40,000 by running reports out of her business. $40,000. Like, that's because I grabbed her CRM data and her report, like sales data, ran it through AI, and with a click of a button, I then had a whole like program of like snapshot of her business and found parts that were opportunities and critical issues. That's the power of AI with a click of a button. It's just knowing how to use the simple way. It's not hard. Literally what I do, I will like spend hours consuming and learning and trialing. Like you should see my subscription bills sometimes because I just trial things. I play with things. If it's not
Yeah, you
intuitive
love a good subscription, Deb. I do know that about you.
but do you know the thing is, if it's not simple for me to use, I'm
Yeah.
not going to bring it to the table for our members because if it's got to be simple, it's got to be intuitive, and it's got to be where possible free.
I love that. So, what's the biggest takeaway that you can give for anyone listening today that's like, you know what? I want to implement video into my business. I want to implement AI. Where do we start? What's the first step?
Yeah, I would just start with number one, having a strategy. That's it. Just
Yeah.
having a proper strategy is the key thing because there's no point in outsourcing things to, a VA or your juniors or your team unless you actually know the foundations of what you need to do and
Mm,
then have a system in and a workflow on how to do it. And
yeah.
then just show up. Just show up every day. Do it messy. Give yourself permission to do it messy because a lot of us overthink it. A lot of us are perfectionists. A lot of us, we just need to accept that you don't. So if you're dancing and you're rehearsing for a show, what do? You rehearse, you practice because when it's showtime, you want to put on your best act, right? Same with video.
Mm. And I think
With using AI.
prioritizing it in our business, someone needs to be the revenue generator of the business. It cannot be driven by passion alone. And unfortunately, a lot of studio owners run their business because they love to teach or they love the arts, but there is a business side of the arts, and marketing is one of them. If there is no one marketing your business, no wonder you don't have more students. No wonder your classes are, half empty or you're on the verge of closing down. I mean, no one is marketing your business. It's simple. I mean, it's not simple like to execute. You've got to put some effort in, no doubt. But it's worth the effort, is what I'm trying to say. Someone has to be the revenue generator of the business.
And do you know what we often fall back on? And I see this so much with businesses is that we think we'll just go and put an ad up. But
Mm.
the ad, like you, please don't advertise until you have a strategy. Please don't advertise until you actually have the fundamentals of organic content. And the reason why a lot of people advertise is because they think that, oh, that's my marketing done. But unfortunately, it doesn't help tell a story of why you're different. It doesn't take me on a journey. Putting up, okay, so I'm going to tell you this 90% of the global traffic on the internet is video.
Mm.
We used to be able to go over to Canva, do a little tile up, right? One of those little template tiles, go over and post it on Facebook, and that was our marketing done. We can't do that anymore. This is 2025. Like literally, if you are not showing up online, your competitor is, and guess where your students are going to go? And that's why I'm saying it's not enough to just put up an ad. An ad will work really, really well when you've got a good foundation of organic content.
Mm. I love that. So important.
Because we want to take people on a journey. We want to store it, like we want to tell our story.
Mm.
Like, why should I come to your dance studio? How are
Mm.
you going to help my child?
It's interesting. I was watching a video the other day of a studio owner who posted on, their socials, Instagram, and they were literally just talking head to camera, and they were talking about some of the uh, anxiety issues that their child has had and how they overcame it from the school camp. Now,
Mm.
school camp is not their dance studio. Funnily enough, I watched that video to the end. I was so interested in hearing about her experience as a mum. This is a studio owner on her business page talking like a mum. That's it. She's talking as a mum about overcoming, anxiety in her kids and how she can build their confidence and some of the tools she used to get her daughter to the camp. I watched that video in full, and do you know how many people were commenting and parents were commenting, thank you so much for sharing your story. I really resonate with that. Just such a good role model for our kids. Hear what I'm saying? She wasn't even talking about the studio. She was just talking about her own experience as a mum. And she got like something crazy, like nearly 100 likes, parents commenting, like lots of love.
Because we could
And
relate.
exactly. And I thought, wow, what a great, and it might not even been intentional. And maybe it was genius, right? But either way, what a great piece of content. And all it was her just being, a mum, talking like a mum to her people who are mums, right? That's it.
Yeah.
So it's that strategy of yes, we can have the Canva tiles and we can have the nice, pretty concert videos and we can do all the things, but we want to mix it up a little. We need to be, like you said, talking, showing who we are, showing up, really, just showing up.
So if you think about TV right now, okay, reality TV is massive. How many programs are dedicated to the arts that are reality TV? Like how many programs these days that
Not
can you
many.
think of? Well, there's a
Not really
lot
at
like that
all.
I think of. There's
Oh, Australian Idol, you've got The Voice
yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah. And then what was that dance ones with the terrible like little baby twin boo, what's her name? The
Oh,
drama.
I know. Yeah, I know. There's Toddlers and Tiaras.
Oh,
There's
Toddlers and Tiaras, that's what I'm
all that
thinking of.
stuff.
Okay, so the reason why that those shows do really well is because they're like it's reality. We want to like go behind the scenes. Reality TV is at an all-time high, right? And the reason is because we love to see behind the scenes. Like we love to
I'm a
see
big Maps fan, not gonna lie. I
I
love
want to see
Married at
behind
First
the
Sight.
scenes. And so if you can help tell your story behind the scenes, like that will take people on a journey. People want to be like taken into your world. We love to like look through the glass. So if you can actually tell your story in a authentic way, you will it's just such a powerful thing. Like you said, when you can just turn up and tell your story, you'll take people on a journey, they'll invest, they'll feel inspired, they'll feel entertained, they'll feel emotions, and you won't have to sell.
Absolutely. I thought that was the key. There was nothing salesy about that video. It's just a mum telling a story to a bunch of other mums. It just happens to be on a business page,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
there's nothing sleazy about it. I think as well. Before we I have a few questions to wrap up, and of course we're going to talk a little bit about Summit, but um, you know, what's the balance? So we want to sell, we want to educate, we want to
Yep.
inspire and entertain.
Yep.
How often that's part of the strategy, right? It's about getting
Yep.
that mix, isn't it?
Yeah. So about 70% of your content should be attraction content. So that educational, inspirational content. And then we want about 20% of our content each week to be that connection content, which is connecting with your current followers. And then about 10% of your content each week is that conversion content. So that's about the beautiful funnel size of content.
I love that. I'm writing it down myself. But why do I need to?
So,
When you're going to
okay,
be
so then if you
Biz
go over
Summit.
to Perplexity and go, now give me my content like schedule for the week or the month, and I have my assistant programmed for that. So 70, 20, 10 rule. And it'll just give me all the ideas, and all I have to do is go over and press record, and off I go.
Yeah, love that so much.
Yeah.
All right. So what can we expect at Studio Biz Summit?
Yes, Joe, let's talk about Summit. When is it? Where is it? What do they
Yeah, so
need to
Studio Biz
do?
Summit is April 29th. It's in Sydney. We are going to be coming in person. I'm very excited. We've got a full day prepared for you. Deb will be one of our guest speakers, but we've got a complete lineup. We're going to be covering everything from, the classroom, neurodiversity, challenging students through to, choreography, through to the business of arts. We're talking AI, we're talking marketing, we're talking profitability, scaling your business. I mean, we're talking about your team and how to really future-proof your business as well. We're talking about all the things, but there's going to be entertainment, food, catering, bubbles, community, connection. I'm really excited. So, yeah, everyone, grab your tickets. Honestly, it is going to be such a wonderful event, a great investment, and I'm hoping, to meet you guys in person. That would be lovely because, all of you guys listening out there, I don't know who you are.
Hey, Joe, and it's on a significant day. What
Oh,
significant
yes,
day is it?
International Dance Day. So we are going to be celebrating International Dance Day. See, the marketer is prompting me, everyone. I do love this. I love that Deb just like, on Joe, the key points. Make sure you hit the key points in your pitch. Love it. I do love it. This
That's
is the
significant.
accountability, right?
You did
Awesome.
that deliberately though, but you planned this summit on this day
Oh,
because
yeah.
as a community, as an industry, you want to bring people together to connect and share our common interest, and
I
that
want
is
to celebrate International Dance Day with people that really understand what it means to be a part of this industry. And I think that that is uh, that's really special. And I think community counts. And I think, being a business owner, especially in the arts, it can be lonely. And a lot of people don't understand what we do, not even your partner. They might be so well intended, their intentions are there, but no one really gets what we do except for us. And I think to be in a room together, like you said, is just so powerful. The number one thing that can help your business thrive is being surrounded by community who gets it and that you can lean
100%.
on and have a conversation with. That's what it's actually about. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I do want to wrap up with a couple of questions because I always ask my guests this, and I think that I would be really interested to hear about what your version of success looks like. What does it actually mean to you? What does it look
Success?
like? Yeah, what does the word success mean to you?
I think there's a sense of gratitude at the end of the week that you've made a difference
Mm,
and that you've made an impact and that what you do matters, and that you feel inspired. Like I can lose hours working when I'm working on a project. Like, for example, those AI assistants that I was telling you about, like I literally spent a whole day just down the rabbit hole of fine tuning and fine tuning. But it didn't matter. Like it didn't feel like work. And like 12 hours went by and I'm like, okay, because I love what I do and I know how much that will make an impact to other people as well. And it's the same with like the industry of creative arts is so important, and to me, success is about doing what you love and helping other people to enjoy it as well.
mm,
And uh, yeah, I think having that freedom to do that. A lot of people go to work and not love what they do. If you can go to work and do what you love, you will do so much of a better job than anyone else.
yeah, absolutely. Who or what inspires you most?
Oh, I don't have one person. I'm very much a person that loves to admire certain parts of different people, whether they're celebrities or business people. I admire different traits within them, but I don't have anyone specific that I, completely look up to. And I think that, yeah, that changes all the time for me. So that's a hard one to answer, Joe.
But you draw a lot of inspiration from what I know of you from like you said, it's constantly changing. So you're reading books, you're listening to, podcasts, and you're
Mm.
constantly learning. Like from an outsider looking in, I can see that you love to learn. Like that is
Yeah.
something
Actually,
that
there's one person that does come to mind at the moment that I'm really enjoying following, and that's Simon Squibb. He's just released a new book called What's Your Dream? And
mm,
his thing is all about helping people. do the like start their own business and live their dream doing what they love. And if I can share that, reminds me of, all the stories that you tell me about all the dance studio owners. They do it because they love what they do. And I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I can't say I read a lot. I listen to them. And if you can go on and listen to his book and his story and why he does what he does and his social media, like follow him on TikTok because he interviews people in the street. And that reminds me a lot about the arts industry of why we do what we do is to, it's there's more to life and do it with heart and empathy.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a giggle because you said that you don't read books and you listen to the Audible, which is totally fine. Everyone totally get that. But I actually do have a book club and Deb's in it. And once I remember you came to book club and I'm like, okay, everyone who's read the book, like you're allowed to come, even if you don't read the book, like you're allowed to come and have the conversation. But Deb's like, oh yeah, I just put it into AI, the thing, and I got the summary. So yeah.
I had a lot on that month.
Yeah. She's like, that's cool. I just put the basically the contents of the book into
I got the
AI.
gist of the
I got
book.
the summary notes, so I'm good to go for today's book club session.
I can participate in the conversation, I can summarize. It summarized it for me.
I
I got the
love that.
gist.
And that just goes to show AI, everything.
AI, everything. There's an AI for that. There's actually a website called There's an AI for that.
Oh, no way. There's an AI
Yeah.
for that. I love that so much. All right. So what's next, Deb? What's next in your world?
Oh,
And how can people find you?
yeah, sure. They can find me on Deb Szabo, SZABO, because I've got the best.
Otherwise, if it'll be it's SZABO. And I tell you this because if you do captions on
Yeah,
like socials and your
it never
name
says
comes
it right.
up, it comes up ZARBO. Not
Totally.
that one. Okay. But
Yeah,
I'll put
Deb
a link in
Szabo,
the
my website, Facebook. If you want to know more, YouTube is the place where I'm putting awesome tutorials about how to use video and AI. And they're nice, short, quick ones, but you can also catch me on my podcast as well, so you can listen or watch it. And I share lots of ways on how you can leverage AI and video
What's your podcast called?
content catalyst.
All
So I
right,
have
we'll
a
pop a link in the show notes for everyone as well so they can find you. But
yeah.
what's next?
Joe,
Studio Biz Summit.
I'm gonna share with you a AI assistant. So when you do your podcast, you can upload the transcription, click a button, and there it is.
Do you think it's relevant podcasting in the studio space? I mean, it's relevant for me because I'm
Oh
speaking.
yeah.
But how is it relevant to people that have a studio? What's your thoughts there? Because I've thought about this a few times. I'm wondering, is
Mm.
this something that I talk to my members about? Is, you know, what's your thoughts? Like, I'm just interested actually. Is podcasting relevant to studio owners?
100%. If I was a dance studio, I would have a video podcast in a heartbeat. And here's why I would have a video podcast is because if I was to ask you, tell me about what you do and how to help people dance, right? You'd be like, oh, well, we train once a week, we have a rehearsal, we have a show, yada, yada, yada. But there's so many nuances for it. And you have a very specific niche that people are so interested. Everything. So we sat down and worked on your business stuff together, right? And we went through all the different modules of how you help people and at different times of the year. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, there's 12 months worth of content for a podcast right there, right? So things like how to prepare for rehearsals, how to, everything to do with outfits, everything to do with rehearsing, how to get gigs, your community, interviewing your
That's
students.
what I was about to say. I
Like,
think interviewing the
oh my God, the
community, they
power
eat it
of
up.
collaboration is massive. And the more visual you are, when you go to get your students gigs, right, as talent, if they've already got a profile, if you've got a profile, it helps your students. And that's how I want people to think about. You need to have a profile to help your students succeed.
Yeah, and
And
you
a
know what?
podcast is so powerful to do that.
There's such an authority in podcasting. Like, and when you podcast, it's not a big deal. Like you just do the do, right? But
Yeah.
from an outside perspective, if you're not in the creative space, so like
Yeah.
the parents, for example, that might be listening to your podcast,
Yeah.
they will see you as a bit of a rock star because you've got a podcast, even though it's you hitting record and it's no big deal and you hit upload, right? But to
Mm.
them, it's almost like being on TV. You
Yeah.
know, it's like having a YouTube channel. Like my
Yeah.
kids, they think being on YouTube makes you a celebrity. They're like, wow, can we be on YouTube? It's like, yeah.
You have your own TV station and radio station these days for free. I've just recorded an episode about this very thing of like why you need to have a video podcast
Yeah.
because
Imagine all your
literally,
parents listening to your podcast. Like, imagine that.
I know.
It would be such a community vibe because they'd want to hear each other. They'd share it with their friends if they're featured on it. Does anyone? Oh my God, this is such a good idea. Everyone,
Okay,
you
so
must be
Joe, all
podcasting.
right, so I'm actually hosting a video podcast challenge to help you launch your own video podcast. Now, this is normally $297, but I'm actually going to give you a coupon code for your listeners that they can join it for free.
I'd love that.
So I'm going to share that with you after we record this episode. It starts on the 21st to the 23rd of March. Now, if they can't join on those days because they might have classes or whatever, they can still join it and get all the recordings and all the templates and the resources. It's going to be epic. So if they book your summit, I will give you, not only if they book your summit ticket now, I will actually give you the coupon code that they also get the video challenge for free as well. How's that?
That's amazing. See, the marketing expertise right there. No, but I love that. And you know what? What an interesting way to market your business that, let's face it,
Yeah.
honestly, no studio owners are doing it. No studio owners are
Do
podcasting.
it.
Be in the forefront of that
Yeah.
and
Be
get
a
ahead
leader.
and get ahead of it.
Yeah, be a leader. Remember, right? It's AI is not going to put you out of business. People using AI will.
Mm.
So,
I'm just getting my head around what you just said. Say that again.
okay. So when we talk about AI, and I say this, so the head of one of the tech companies said this recently, and it really resonated with me, but I joined the two together with video and AI. He said, AI is not going to put you out of a job, but the people using AI will put you out of a job.
Mm.
Okay, so your dance studio is relying on you staying up to date with how you can leverage AI, but I'm going to go a step further and say it's to do with video as well. So if you leverage a video podcast for your business, I'm going to tell you this. All you have to do is make 4 videos a month. You can either batch up in one day, or you can spend an hour each week doing it. And out of that one video, you can then have 15 plus pieces of content marketing across all the platforms for your audience by just doing that. So
And there's your authority. There's
your authority, there's your
credibility.
credibility. This is profile. Like people will go. So if you're wanting your students to join your studio, what's the first thing they go and do?
Well, they don't Google anymore. They just go onto social media and
Correct.
search.
And they want to know what sort of presence you've got. How are you going to help their child? That's what they want to know. So
Yeah.
you have to share that information. And that's what I'm saying. They will come to you over the dance studio down the road if they feel that you have a higher profile and they feel like you can help them more than the dance studio down the road. And how do we do that? By communicating.
You know, it's interesting because I actually joined a course a while back now. You know, Tina Tower, obviously, her Empire Builder. I did that
Yeah.
quite some time ago. But I joined her program because I became a fan of her podcast and I viewed her like a rock star. I really did. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I love this podcast. It's like there was almost a celebrity element to it. And
Yeah.
I find that really interesting. So I think if you can get your customers feeling that way about you through video podcasting, that's actually a really exciting marketing tool.
Mhm.
It can actually be fun and it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. And Deb's there to show you. But look, Deb will be at Studio Biz
Can't
Summit
wait.
this April in Sydney. Grab your tickets now. The link is in the show notes.
Yeah.
Head to josephinelancuba.com/summit. And if you purchase a ticket to the summit, we are going to then email you a coupon code, which will give you free access to her current program for podcasting, video podcasting, which is amazing.
And with that, Jo, they're going to get all their help with setting up their tech, right? So that's day 1. Day 2, I'm going to share with you how to know your topics and how to film and edit. And then day 3 is how to repurpose. So if you're a solo, doing it on your own or with a very small team, it is going to blow your mind what I'm going to share with you. And you'll be able to, like I said, this is normally a paid thing, but as anyone that's coming to the summit, they can access it for free.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that we give you a coupon code in this episode and in the show notes so you can access that and gain value from this offer.
Get your ticket to Summit first.
Oh, got to get the ticket.
Right?
That's where the coupon code's going to be, guys.
Yes.
Get that and then you'll get the other. That's how this works. No, I'm only kidding. But yes, Studio Biz Summit, I'm excited. We'll see you there, Deb. Thank you so much. We'll see you in April and hope to see everyone at home as well. Thank you for coming onto the show, everyone.
Thank you for having me, Jo. See you soon. Can't wait.
This episode was brought to you by Studio Biz Summit, where you can enjoy industry discussions and insights at this live event for studio owners and team. Celebrate International Dance Day with us on April 29th, 2025. Grab your tickets now. Head to josephinelancuba.com/summit. See you there.